What's up? This is Dave, face painter here in Orlando. Some of you may know who I am, some of you don't. I figured I'd do my first online tutorial on one of my favorite things to paint. So today we're going to do a skull. We're going to use a couple colors. Probably use this awesome blue combination. It's one of my favorites. Really like the way it looks, the way it goes on, the way it blends. So we got metallic blue and light blue, and let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is do my base coat. So I'm going to take my sponge and dip it in the water. I'm going to go with the light blue side of this cake. As you can see, I got mine split into two different halves, the light blue and the dark blue. It also works really well, like if you're going to go over both colors, you can kind of mix it and you get this weird in-between shade that's really nice. So I got my blue. I'm just going to cover up everything. I'm going to do multiple passes over the same place. I don't want to go on too opaque just because this is a base coat. Okay, so now I've got my base on, we're going to go to the next color. So I'm going to take that same exact cake that I had before. But this time I'm just going to work with the dark side. Come over here and just put a little water on the sponge. And again, start taking that dark paint. Alright, and what I'm trying to do here, I'm going to try and use the sponge as much as possible. I mean, I don't want to use a brush and try and go back in and hand paint everything. So I'm going to try and use the sponge as much as I can. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to outline my cheek. And then because I've got it cut, I got a nice hard line here, so I can kind of use it in the same way that I would use a brush. I just come out, I'm going to draw out my cheekbone here. Kind of like in this shape that I got going on. Now, this technique, like if you're trying to paint somebody that you've never painted before and you're not exactly sure of their bone structure, you can always have them suck in one side of their cheek. And you can kind of see where that outline's at. Mine's going to be a little bit over-exaggerated just because it's my style of painting. So again, I'm going to come back. So now I've got my cheek established. Now the next thing I'm going to do is come down here underneath the chin. I'm going to get that formed out. Again, just kind of tapping it in, not really going to drag out and get a bunch of paint on there. It's just because I'm going to blend it off. Alright, and then again, now we're going to come into the eye. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of go right up to the eyebrow, and then I'm going to come down just like this. Get a nice color in there. Now the goal here is not to make the eye socket too big. That looks pretty good. So then again, now we're going to do the temple. We want this to follow along the same shape as the eye socket. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come down and try and follow that shape the best that I can and come off, and this is going to be the top of the cheekbone there. Then again, just because it's the temple, we'll shade it off. We'll take this and we'll just drag a little bit back. Kind of give it that sunken in type of look. Alright, and then for the forehead, we're going to do the same thing. We come around this way, I'm going to take it, just tap it just like I would. If I was using a brush, and just use that edge, come down, and then now I'm going to take the back half and kind of drag out that paint that I'm putting on and kind of blend it off. Just like this. Drag it over. Alright, then the last thing here, I'm going to come down this way, kind of shape my back of the jawbone here, come just like this. Kind of give it a nice contour, and then I'll come back to where I originally did that cheekbone. And now I'm going to start dragging down at a slight curve. And kind of give that cheek that kind of 3D effect here where it's shading down onto it underneath. Bring this out just a little bit more for my liking. Just like that. A little bit more right here. Just kind of stipple it on. I'm not kind of like dragging here, I'm just stippling. Because I don't want to lay down too much paint. Just kind of stipple it one more time, just dabbing here, just dabbing. Now I've got my first shadow color on, and I know what you guys are probably thinking, hey man, you just got some blue blobs on your face. So what we're going to do now, we're going to add a couple more shadows and a couple more highlights. Again, we're going to go back to the sponges. This time we're going to use black. We're going to follow these lines that we've already done, and then what we'll do is take some white and we'll use a stippling technique, and we'll try and bring some areas out, and let's see what we can do. Alright, so first we're going to take this black and just kind of drag it on there. Right now I got kind of a dry sponge, not a lot of water on here, just kind of I guess you call it like a dry brushing technique. Some pink was left over. I don't want to go too dark, so it's pretty good. I'm just barely going to tap my sponge in the water. We'll come back, we'll do the same thing up here. Alright, I'm going to come back again with our dark blue. What we're going to do is we put a little bit of water in there. We'll come back and we'll add another shadow right in here. Going to do that reflected highlight. Alright, so like that. And the next step, take the white, just get a little bit of water there. And we'll start to make things pop. So we'll take this white, we're going to go right along the outside. What's supposed to be the most raised out part. So go right around there. That's it, and then again we're going to give this kind of an angry look. So we're going to take this, we'll stipple on some white right in this general area. Kind of make it look like it'll pop out. Again, get a little bit more. Go right here along the edge of the eye. A little bit of white in there. Of course, right along here. Now take it, you're going to use that same end, use it like a brush. Stipple right along the edge. Down to the chin look like it's sticking out. Again, here just stippling. And what we'll do, instead of using white, we'll come back with a light blue. Because the jaw's going to be flared out, we'll come back and we'll just do a little bit of the light blue. We'll stipple this on right in here. Just like so. Once we've got that on, we'll take the white, make sure it's a little dry, and we'll take the white and we'll stipple some white in there. We'll come back one more time with black. There we go, now we're getting somewhere. Alright.